After 3 years of dating and 12 years of marriage, my relationship came to an end. From this marriage, we had 2 kids, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. I was in a legal battle to sell the house I lived in, trying to minimize my losses. To everyone else, Jennifer and I had a perfect life. Arguments were rare, and I believed we would be together forever. Our marriage ended on what seemed like a happy day. It was a Sunday, and we were having a barbecue at home. Jennifer was laughing at a video on her phone and showed it to me. But as she turned the phone toward me, a message popped up. Someone had written that her scent was still on their pillow. Something along those lines. I took her phone without saying anything, and she thought I was just watching the video. Instead, I was reading messages from a contact named Ryan Office. I knew who he was, a much younger guy who worked with Jennifer. When she realized I wasn't looking at the video but reading her messages, she grabbed the phone back and started making excuses, saying Ryan was just a jokester. I asked to see the phone again, but she refused. I told her, "If you don't give me that phone now, our marriage ends here." She started crying, accusing me of acting strange and not respecting her privacy. That day, we had a huge fight. I packed my things and moved into the guest room. I told her I'd be filing for divorce. When the divorce was finalized, the court ruled that I had to leave the house and wait for the division of assets. I was heartbroken. I had spent years building that house just the way I wanted, and it was our only property. I had even recently added a pool for the kids. Moving out meant being away from my children, which hurt the most. I could only see them every 2 weeks. I moved in with my mom, who lived almost 2 hours away. Every time I visited, I felt my kids were growing more distant. Jennifer was telling them that I had started a new family and didn't love them anymore. Over time, they didn't want to see me at all. I'd drive 2 hours to visit, only for them to cry at the door and refuse to speak to me. It was heartbreaking. Jennifer spread the same story to neighbors and relatives, that I had another family, and used the phone story as an excuse for the divorce. But eventually, Jennifer and Ryan made their relationship public, proving my claims were true. Their relationship didn't last long, though, and people who had distanced themselves from me began apologizing. However, Jennifer kept finding ways to delay the sale of the house. 3 years passed, and I was still living with my mom, paying child support, and struggling emotionally. Then, Jennifer unexpectedly reached out, saying the kids missed me. I was suspicious because every visit had been difficult, with the kids seeing me as the bad guy. Suddenly, they were more affectionate and confused but warmer toward me. Jennifer herself had convinced them to reconnect. I later learned why. Jennifer was seriously ill, undergoing a tough cancer treatment. She knew that if she passed away, the kids would have only me, and she trusted that I loved them deeply. She asked me to talk. We sat alone, and she cried, sharing her diagnosis. I felt nothing but bitterness. I had my reasons. She was frail, wearing a headscarf because she'd lost her hair. The only sincere thing I could say was that I'd always support our children. She asked me to move back in, but I refused. She was devastated, saying everyone but her mother and sister had abandoned her. In our last conversations, she apologized and admitted to cheating on me but blamed it on my absence. She confessed everything to the kids to clear my name. Despite her attempts to gain my sympathy, I stayed indifferent. I rented a small apartment near their house to be closer to the kids. On weekends, I took them to my mom's place, and we spent time there until Sunday afternoons. Jennifer continued to plead for reconciliation, but I couldn't do it. Her family treated me with disdain, as if I were the villain. I ignored them, focusing only on my children. One day, after dropping the kids off, Jennifer asked to talk. She cried, saying she still loved me and that all our years together couldn't be erased by one mistake. She begged me to come back. I told her no. She grabbed my arm, asking how I could feel nothing. I pulled away and said, "Jennifer, I'm just waiting to move back into my house and be with my kids. Honestly, I'm waiting for you to go. That's all I have to say." She called me cruel, accusing me of being unable to forgive and only waiting for her to die. 2 weeks later, Jennifer passed away. My kids were heartbroken, and I only cried at the funeral because of their grief. Seeing them in so much pain tore me apart. Sometimes I feel guilty for not telling Jennifer I forgave her. But the truth is, if I had said it, I would have been lying. If you have a similar story, feel free to share it in the comments, and if you'd like me to tell it, let me know. Thank you for watching the video until the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.